All right. Oh, my bad. I forgot to carry the camera around. What's up? What is the dealio? Welcome to the Tech G Show, Technology G Show. All right, so this video goes out to. Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Eyasu. I have no idea how to pronounce your first name. Eyasu. Iasu Mesvin. All right. Anyways, he left me a message on Instagram, and sorry, for some reason, these messages on Instagram they don't be like sending me alarms or notifications. Anyways, he says he's currently 20 years old and doesn't know if he should go down the path of certifications, starting with IT fundamentals until he gets an entry-level help desk job, or should he just go to college? Then he says he's also considering a 2 year associate's degree in cybersecurity, but he's not sure if it would be worth it. All right, so we're just going to call you E because I can't pronounce your first name. So, knowing what I know today, E, knowing what I know today about life, about bills, about debt, about credit, and about money, if I could rewind the clock back to 2000 when I was 20 years old, because I'm 41 right now, and I had to make this exact same decision as you about whether or not I should go to college or I should just go ahead and focus on getting IT certifications, I would go ahead and skip college. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. Now, unless you have a scholarship, because I went to college on a scholarship, so unless you have a scholarship or you have some family members who are willing to pay for your college or you hit the numbers, I would probably skip. Me personally, I would have skipped college. Now, I did go to college on a scholarship, so, I'm slightly different. But the reason I'm saying this is because, you can go to college, right? Unless you're majoring in something STEM related, like you want to become an architect, an engineer, a scientist, a doctor, what else? Maybe even some type of technologist of sorts. I got to be honest, I really don't even see the benefit of most college degrees. I'm just going to be straight up with you. And it's sad because you got a lot of young people. They go to college these days, they get these worthless college degrees, they get saddled with all this student debt. And now you see them online hoping and praying that the president cancels out their debt so that, they can go out there and live a happy, healthy life of sorts. You know what I mean? So if it were me, I was 20 years old. Knowing what I know today, I would skip college and just go straight for my IT certifications. And the reason is, one is the cost factor. So how much does it cost to go to college these days? You could be looking at a college debt. What's up, Abdi? You could be looking at a college debt of anywhere between like 20,000 to as high as $100,000 a year, depending upon what school you go to and how many years you're in school, yada yada yada. Right? That's what you could be looking at just to get a 4 year degree. So you can hang a piece of paper on your wall and then start writing checks to the student loan people, unless you had a scholarship like I did back in the day. With IT, you can go out there and drop like, I don't know, let's just say you sign up for a boot camp or something like that. You might spend a couple $1,000s depending upon what it is. But let's just say you spend like $5,000 to go take like a cybersecurity boot camp or whatever. And you come up out of that thing with an A+, Net Plus, Security Plus, maybe a certified ethical hacker, and maybe something else out there, penetration testing. You can have $5,000, or however, let's just say $5,000 it costs you to take all that stuff, which I'm just using that as a number. by the time you go out there and get your first job, which you shouldn't have an issue getting a job, you will make all that money back. You know what I'm saying? You'll make all that money back that you invested into your IT certification skills. And so here's the thing. You said you're also considering getting a 2-year associate's degree in cybersecurity, but you're not sure if it's worth it. Well, there are pros and cons to IT. Well, I'm not going to say pros and cons, but there are some pros to having a IT college degree. Now, the first thing is if you want to go get you a college degree in something related to IT, you might as well just go ahead and get the 4-year degree instead of the 2-year degree. I mean, you're already in college, you might as well spend the extra money. But based off of my experience, college degrees, IT college degrees, I should say, those outside of programming and coding and computer scientists, those degrees are only really good for helping you maybe move up to like a management position of sorts, or if you want to become like a college professor or teaching IT, or you want to work at a tech college teaching IT, like, or maybe even if you want to move up to the executive suite one day. Like, those are the only benefits that I really know of when it comes to getting a standard IT degree, whether, even if it's a cybersecurity or something like that. Like, I personally don't know of any real benefit outside of that. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't go get your cybersecurity degree. It can possibly help you out later on in life, but a cybersecurity degree is at the end of the day, it's just another college degree. And oftentimes that's not going to be the big wow factor on your resume that helps you go out there and secure a high paying job in IT, or even an entry level job. What's going to help you secure those entry level jobs, because you mentioned something, let me get the notes again. I had to write this down. You said you're 20 years old. You don't know if you should go down the path of getting certifications, starting with IT fundamentals until you get an entry level help desk job. So let's just talk about an entry level help desk job. You're out there running around plugging in network cables, resetting user passwords, creating user accounts, taking out the trash, answering phones, stuff like that, the grunt work. No, nobody's really going to care too much about your college degree. They're only going to want to see, do you got more than likely your A plus and or network plus and maybe even your security plus certification. And so you factor that in. How much does it cost to get those certs? So the A plus cert, remember, it's 2 tests, the hardware and the software. Each test costs about $220, assuming you pay full price. If you want a discount on the voucher, go visit my website. I sell discounted vouchers. But let's just say you pay full price. So you're looking at like $400 for the A plus. The network plus, I believe that voucher costs around $300 something, and the security plus is probably around another $300. So what does the math come out to be, y'all? Just for the vouchers, we're looking at like $1,000 in vouchers, right? Then let's just go say you pay another couple $100 for some training. You buy some notes off my website, or you go sign up for somebody else's study materials, or whatever it is that you do. Let's just say you spend like a grand total of like $2,000 to get these basic entry level certs so that you can get you a help desk job. Well, that $2,000 is going to immediately make you marketable in this current society where, or this current economy, I should say, where everybody is scrambling to find IT personnel because for some reason, well, I'm not going to say for some reason, but in this current economy, there are a bunch of IT jobs, everything from the lower level help desk jobs all the way up to the super duper jobs that pay all the money. And they just can't seem to find people to fill these positions because people don't have the necessary skills, experience, or certifications to do the job. So you go out there and get your cybersecurity degree. 2-year degree or whatever it is you want to get, that is not going to place you higher in terms of marketability and employability than somebody who goes and spends maybe at max like $2,000-3,000 just to get some basic entry-level certs so they can jumpstart their career. Because here's another thing you got to consider. So let's just say you're in college, going to college full time, working at Mickey D's or wherever you're working to pay for your education, taking out student loans, yada, yada, yada. You're in college 2, 3, 4 years. You're coming up out of that thing 24, 20, well, you said you're 20. So let's just say you come up out of there 24, 25 years old. And now you got a few $1,000s or so in student debt, whatever that translates into, depending upon what college you go to, whether it's a public college, private college, and all that other stuff, right? Well, now let's take a person who decided not to go to college. And so while you were enrolled in college, they decided to go get some IT certifications. And then they go out there within about 6 months to a year after taking, the A+, Net Plus, Security Plus to go get their first job. Fast forward to by the time you graduate college, this person has been working in IT for 4 years. I can almost guarantee that the person working in IT for 4 years, who started off at the bottom with the entry-level certs, will be making way more money than you and have way less debt than you, because they didn't go to college. They won't have any college debt, I should say. Assuming they go out there, they get higher level certs, they get their experience up, they become more valuable to the marketplace. I can almost 100% guarantee you their salary will have doubled from, let's just say they come in, entry-level job making $15 an hour. 4 years later, when you're graduating college, I wouldn't be surprised if that person that was making $15 an hour is making close to 60, 70,000 a year, or let's just say 60,000 a year. And this is assuming this person is doing all the right things. Like I say, they're becoming proficient at their job. They're getting their experience up. They're out there getting higher level certs beyond the entry level stuff. Within about 4 years, man, they're going to be blowing you out of the water because you're going to come out of college like most other college students. And I looked this stat up today. They say the average college graduate, when they start, go out there and get their first job, they say the average salary is like $50,000 a year. But that doesn't account for all the student debt that they got to pay back, which eats up most of their money. Hence the term, y'all heard of this term called Boomerang Babies. Anybody know what a Boomerang Baby is? So in case you don't know, I think that's the proper term. A Boomerang Baby is a kid that graduates college, but they can't afford to live on their own and start their life because student debt is killing them, and they got to move back in with their mother and father. And they'll be living in the basement or living in their old room, paying their parents some rent while they're out there working their job because they just can't afford to go out there and, get their life fully started. Now, obviously, you got special case people, those who come from rich families, those who won a scholarship, stuff like that. But, we're just talking about people that just go to college and they take out financial aid of some sorts. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, when I opened this video up, knowing what I know today, if I hadn't have won my scholarship, because I won a full scholarship to go to college, and then after I joined the military, then after that, I used my GI Bill to pay for my graduate degree. So I've technically never paid for college. But let's just say, if I had never won my scholarship, knowing what I know today, I personally would have skipped college and just went and got a job, got my entry-level certs, got out there, started making money, getting my life rolling, and then hopefully transition into a company that's going to pay me to go to college. Because that's another thing you got to think about, right? So you go out there, get your certs, get your life started. You out there working, being a good, productive, busy bee employee, doing all the right things to make the bosses happy so that you can hopefully get promotions and, live your wildest fantasies. Oftentimes you'll come into some companies, if it's a good company, they might offer to pay for your college for you in exchange for as a perk of employment or a benefit of your employment with the company. So what I'm saying is, If I was 20, if I was 20 years old, knowing what I know today about life, about bills, about credit, about debt, about money, I personally would have skipped college if I didn't have a scholarship, went and just focused on my IT certifications and went straight to the money. Start making money because in this industry, you can go from zero to hero in a relatively short amount of time with some IT certifications that may only take you a few months to acquire versus you going to school for 4 years or 2 years to get an associate's. You know how many certifications you can get in 2 years? You can go from IT fundamentals to your CCNA and maybe even beyond that just in 2 years. You know how much your income could potentially double just in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would do, especially if I know I want to go into the tech industry and work in IT. College wouldn't be at the top of my priority list, knowing what I know today. Will be at the top of my priority list is going to get certified so I can get them resumes pumping and jumping, go out there, get hired, and put some money in my pocket, go out there and get some experience. 18, 24 months later, I'm on to a new job or I'm on to a higher position of a responsibility, which oftentimes comes with a higher level of pay, while you're out there in college writing research papers and counting down the days when the student loans hit your mailbox. You know what I'm saying? That's what Mr. Tech G, would have done, knowing what I know today at the age of 41. You understand? But make your own decisions because you're a grown man, even though you're 20 years old. But that's what I would have done, knowing what I know today, especially if I was 20 years old with the technology that you all have today. Because, think back to the year 2000. We didn't have YouTube in 2000. We didn't have smartphones. I don't even think we had distance learning. Now that I think about it, I think I remember seeing commercials in the late 90s, early 2000s, right around the turn of the century. There were commercials advertising saying, this is going to be the future, distance learning. You can learn through the internet. I remember watching that commercial like, wow, that's some Star Trek stuff. Here we are today. We got smartphones in our hands, high-speed internet, Wi-Fi, distance learning. You can watch videos, take somebody's course halfway around the world, and, be out there doing the damn thing with your life. And never have to step foot in a classroom like how I had to back in the day. So I would take those things into consideration. Once again, I'm not knocking college degrees, but I tell my son, I got a 15-year-old son. I tell him all the time, I'm like, listen, we need to figure out, he's in 10th grade. He just started 10th grade. So I'm giving him the speech, the old man speech, right? I'm like, listen, son, we need to figure out what you want to do with your life. He's like, what you mean, Dad? We need to figure out what you want to do with your life because you'll be 18 in 3 years. You'll be 25 in 10 years. You'll be 30 in 15 years. Time flies, buddy. So we need to figure out what you want to do with your life because you're not going to be a rapper. You're not going to do any of this other stupid stuff. I mean, you can do that in your spare time, but we need to get you we need to put together a solid plan just in case your fantasies of becoming the next celebrity, social media celebrity or whatever doesn't pan out. So we need to figure out what we're going to do with your life, son. And so depending upon what you tell me you want to do or you express strong interest in is going to dictate the path we go. So if you be like, hey, Dad, I want to do tech like you, guess what, son? We're not going to college. We're going to take all this money I've been saving up since you were a baby in the event that you do go to college so I could just write checks on the spot to pay for your education. We're going to take all that money and we're going to invest it into some certification programs to get you certified out in these streets so you can go out there and become competitive. And then whatever's left over is going to be your seed money to start your life, courtesy of your pops. If you do decide to go to college, you be like, "Hey, Dad, I want to be a doctor." All right, well then we got to start preparing to go to college. You understand? Because that's the path that you have to go. But if you want to do, but if he does go to college, I got to give this speech to my son as well. I'm like, listen, dude, if I got to pay for your college, which more than likely I am, because if he goes to college, you can major in anything that you want, so as long as it's STEM. That's like your only option. That's the only thing I'm paying for. So you can be a doctor, you can be an architect, you can be an engineer, you can be some type of technologist, computer scientist. You can pick something out of that. I'll pay for it. But if you come up to me talking about, Dad, I want to be a history major, I'm going to tell you, you need to go get a job and pay for that, because I'm not paying for a history degree. You can go watch YouTube videos. You can go to the public library and become an expert in history all day long. So I'm not knocking college. I'm just saying I think if you do go to college, Mr. E, you need to pick something that society deems as valuable, meaning it's going to get you a job and you're not going to be working at Panera Bread with a master's degree. Or you're going to be, you know what I'm saying? Because, we run into those people a lot. No shade on them, no knock on them. That's just the reality of life. There are a lot of people who are underemployed. They got all this education in the world, but so many of them are just working in jobs that are not remotely directly related to their degree. So I don't want that for my son. And Mr. E, I don't want it for you. So if you go to college, pick something that is going to put money in your pocket and provide you a future, meaning there's going to be a job out there waiting for you, or it's going to be extremely close to what it is that you went to school for. You understand? But if IT is what you want to do, I would say skip college, because you don't really need a degree to get it popping in IT unless you're doing certain things in IT, like you want to become a computer scientist. Well, you got to go to college for that. But if you want to do cybersecurity, you ain't got to go to college for that. Man, you go get some certifications, A plus, Net plus, Security plus, and something else out there, CEH or penetration tester, or what's the other one? It's like what is it, CASY or CYSA or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. You in the game, and you get all them certs. They ain't gonna cost you nowhere near as much as a pretty piece of paper that you're just gonna hang on your wall. Because trust me, I got 3 of those pieces of paper right now hanging on my wall. 4-year degree and 2 graduate degrees. Now, fortunately, I didn't pay for any of them, but they're just hanging on the wall just for, just so I can brag to people when they come into my office. Be like, look at my degrees. And then we'd be like, oh, okay, that's nice. Then we go on about our business. You understand? So they don't really do much for me. So that's what I would do, Mr. E, man. You do what you want to do. But I'm telling you what a young 20-year-old tech G would do, knowing what I know now. I would have bypassed college. Just went straight to getting it out there. You understand? All right. So hopefully that answers some questions. Let's see what y'all out here yapping about. Alex says, college was a waste of time for me. I enjoyed the social aspect, but my degree was a dead end for me, working on my certs now. Oh, yeah, I had a ball in college. I was at all the parties, chasing all the girls, joining fraternities. I was doing all that crap. I was doing all that crap. But yeah, you're right. It does become a waste of time for a lot of people. I know a lot of people that went to college with me. Here we are in our 40s. Some of them are still paying student debt 20 something, almost 20 years later after graduating. Not me. You know what I'm saying? And then I got some that I know that are trying to switch their careers because, what they went to school for didn't really work out the way they initially planned it. So I got some of them that I know asking me about IT all the time. I give them my opinions and hopefully they'll do what they do with it. Explode says, do you need certs to get IT jobs? What if you master the requirements that the job wants? So here's the order of importance, Explode. This is the trifecta here, right? When it comes to IT. Experience is king. Certifications is second. And degrees is third. So if you know a lot about IT, and you can prove it, meaning you got not just a pretty looking resume, but you got a portfolio that's out of this world that you can pull up on the spot at a job interview, and you ain't got no certs, you might get a job. They might hire you because you know what you're doing. I know people that work in IT now, been in it for quite a few years. They don't even have a certification, but they know what the heck they're doing. They can get out there and make it do what it do, have them lights staying green all the time, and internet ones and zeros flowing across the wire like a champion. So it's possible, but they've been able to prove it. So if you're in that category, I suggest you go out there and figure out how to put a portfolio together that can actually prove you know what you're doing. Because let's just say you come into a job interview with me and I got to interview you. And you're in here like, I ain't got no certs, but I know how to do all this, that, and the third. First thing I'm going to ask for you to do is prove it. Now, we're not about to get up and walk down to the to my server room or anything like that and watch you start playing around with stuff. You're gonna need to do something, man. You're gonna have to, pull up your little portfolio on was it GitHub or something like that, or whatever it is you're doing. You're gonna have to show me. Because if you can't show me, then I'm probably gonna ask to speak to the person who got a certification. What's up? I'm Q. And yes, this is live. How do I get my question? I just answered it. Sorry about that. I was answering a question somebody sent me on Instagram. What's up, Hanlon? Tony 2P, shout out to you, my dude. Your channel helped me pass A+ certs as of today. Uh-oh, I got to screenshot this. Hold on. I put the comment back. Oh, darn it. Hold on. Trying to highlight the comment. Where'd it go? Here we go. I got a screenshot. Here we go. Boom. There it is. Your channel helped me pass the A+ cert as of today. Thanks for your help. Hey, man. Congrats on passing the A+ certification. That's your first stop. Don't stop there. I just did a video I posted about 2 weeks ago. Had a little, not an argument, but just a little back and forth with this dude who was telling me A+, CompTIA certs are trash. He really wasn't saying they were trash. Basically, he was just trying. He was trying to say, do not stop at A+. You're gonna have to pursue higher level certs. He just when he opened up his statement, he came out the gate saying A+ is trash, even though he later recanted the statement and we came to a mutual understanding. But the point is, that's your starting point. You're gonna have to pursue higher level certs if you want to make some money. A+, Nat+, and all the stuff I teach will get you in the door, but don't just stop at the door, man. If you want to break 6 figures or beyond or whatever, or hell, even if you just want to get to $70,000, right? You're going to have to get some higher level certs. But the stuff I teach, they're like the foundation. Says, I left college and went and got a CCNA and then a CCNP within about 7 months. And they got me my first job as a tier 2 network engineer making $25 an hour. Certs are a good way to get work quickly. Super facts, man. Look, college is cool. Look, when I was a kid back in the 80s, this was just something we always heard. You're going to go to college. You're going to go to college. I didn't want to go to college. I messed around and won a scholarship. So I went in there. I took my SAT. I didn't study for it. I did horrible on that. And then I went and did my ACT. I didn't study for that. I did pretty damn good on that. I don't know what happened, but I scored a very good score on my ACT, and that won me a scholarship. Because initially I was going straight into the Army. I was like, I'm ready to get out of my parents' house. I'm ready to go join the military and be all I can be, because I got to get away from these people. But I won a scholarship. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to college to party. And that's what I did. I partied hard up in there. Still got a degree, though. But you're right, though, man. College degrees, look, they're cool. And that's what we were all told to do when I was coming up. But in this day and age, I think college degrees is really more of a hustle and more of just a business. Unless you're going there to be something related to STEM, like a doctor, scientist, engineer, architect, something along those lines. Anything else outside of that, I don't even see what the point of college is. I really don't. Because a lot of stuff that you go like let's just say, like I gave the example of history. I want to be a history professor, or I want to major in history. Well, what are you going to do with a history degree? Like, who's hiring history people unless you're working at like a museum or something like that? And then, how many people do y'all know visit museums on a regular basis? So, I think college has just evolved into a hustle, just a way to make money. You keep telling people this is the way you got to go to make it in life. But man, you could run across people who are plumbers who make more money than people who are college graduates. So I just don't think back in the day, okay, I'll put it like this. Before all this wonderful technology that we enjoy, especially when our parents were coming up and even my generation, I'm like at the tail end of Generation X, right before the millennial generation. They call us zillennials. So I'm probably like the last generation where you could have benefited from a college degree, but everybody else after me, man, the we entered the information age at lightning speed. That opened up the door to so many things that you could just bypass the system. I mean, look at some of the richest people. Look at Mark Zuckerberg, for crying out loud. Mark Zuckerberg is a billionaire, founded Facebook, dropped out of Harvard University. You know what I'm saying? He just went in there and started coding crap up, and now he is who he is today. And you got plenty. You got examples all over the place like that. So I just don't. I don't know. It says, why are more Indian people in IT jobs than black people? Well, I don't know why more are in it. I know a lot of them are coming over to America to get into these IT jobs. I remember Kamala Harris, or just the Biden administration, was talking about they want to import like 500,000 of them to come start working some IT jobs. But why they're in it, I don't know. Maybe they recognize that this is the future. This is where it's at. This is where we can get a job, even if they're stuck in India working like a call center job, doing some help desk stuff over there. I can't really answer that question for them. But as far as black folks is concerned, well, there are a lot of reasons why a lot of black people aren't in tech. I think it's only like 7% of us in tech across the board. But some of the reasons that I can immediately identify is that a lot of black people, based off of my experience, they just don't really come into contact with IT people like that. Like they think, like you'd be surprised as to how many black folks think IT people are just white dudes or Indian dudes, because that's what you see on TV, that's what you see in the commercials a lot, or whatever. You'll be hard pressed to find like a bunch of us just around. Like every IT job I've ever had, with the exception of when I was in the military at this one particular unit, I was pretty much like the only black person there. And some of y'all are like, you black? You look Hispanic. I'm actually mixed. So most people didn't even know I was black. They thought I was Hispanic. But that's just kind of how it is, man. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of exposure to it. Now, this also ties into socioeconomics as well. So if you start talking about black folks in the hood and stuff like that, there definitely isn't a lot of exposure to it, period. And this is one of the reasons why I'm in the process. I don't know how I'm doing this. I'm talking to people, but my ultimate vision is to create an IT training center in my city of Orlando in the hood, so I can reach out specifically to these young black people, children and young adults, and introduce them to IT, and just present them another option other than the options that are being, that they believe that they should be. Because a lot of young folks in the hood, they all think that they need to be a ball player or a rapper or a dope boy or something else. You know what I'm saying? I know that's stereotyping, but it is what it is, because I got a lot of people like that in my family that believe that that's what they're supposed to be in life, believe it or not. And so I want to go out there because, that's just what I want to do offline. You understand? Do my part, help out the community. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just a lack of exposure. That's probably the biggest thing. Like you go to some of these affluent schools, like let's just take some of these rich schools out here where I live at. because Orlando, we got some extremely rich people that live down here. You go up in their high schools and middle schools, they got STEM programs all over the place. Their kids getting introduced to STEM. By the time they graduate high school, they getting doctors, white coats and stuff. But you go to the high schools in the hoods around here, or predominantly black schools, they don't be having this stuff in there, nowhere near like that. So it's just a matter of exposure, and a lot of young black people just really not knowing about it because they don't really see a lot of black. Look, it's not like you drive down the street and it's a whole bunch of black dudes in IT that are just readily identifiable. Like we all got on IT jerseys, and you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? We got it's just you just don't know. So that's why I feel like I got to get out there and make it known to the peoples. All right, where was I at in the questions? I worked at a help desk in university. It got me interested in the field. There you go. It says, go to college with an ROTC division, join ROTC and pursue a cyber track and computer science degree, join the military as an officer, and get college and training free. You can do that. Or you can just join the military as enlisted, and they can train you up in IT as well. I was in the Army for 13 years, active duty, enlisted. I was a staff sergeant when I got out the Army. There's my, where's my little, come here, hat. So this is you can see my hat there, but there I was. I was a staff sergeant back in the day. I did IT in the Army. Started off help desk. Even on the enlisted side, they got like a cybersecurity MOS, military occupational specialty. It's called 25 Delta. So I'm not saying that, and here's the thing about the enlisted versus the officers. The enlisted personnel and the warrant officers, they actually deal with the actual equipment. Like because I got a friend he was a signal officer, right? Matter of fact, he's about to retire. He's a lieutenant colonel. When he came into the Army, I came in enlisted. He came in as an officer. We were in the Army at the same time. Anyways, he's about to retire. He's out of the Pentagon. He knows about IT, but he's been an officer, but he's never really had to get down and dirty with the equipment where he was actually, manipulating, doing all the stuff. He was just there to be like a manager of sorts. But, but the whole point is you can learn a lot of that stuff even if you don't do ROTC. Now, if you do ROTC, you want to come in as an officer, I would encourage that as well because, they make more money. And you're not going to be outside raking leaves and cutting grass like how I was when I first came in. She says, I'm not lying. I went to networked and switched over to software support with electronic medical records and ended up at a clinical informatics specialist as a consultant. Oh, this guy's out here doing things. You sign up for the National Guard and they pay for college? Yep. Yeah, they pay for my both my master's degrees. I got a master's in IT and I got an MBA. They paid for let me see. I got out the Army November 17th, 2015 was my last day. I started going back to graduate school full-time January 2016. So they paid, so I used my GI Bill. They paid for my tuition, and then they sent me a check for how much money did they send me? It was like close to $1,000 each month, tax-free, just to go to school, something like that. So I got paid to go to school while they were paying my bill. Go Army. Let's see. What's up, Han Luke? My YouTube channel is my working portfolio. There you go. That's a great idea, Savage Scientist. So there's a dude out there called Network Bruh. Network Bruh, BRUH. He actually lives in my city of Orlando, as a matter of fact. He probably lives about 8 miles around the corner from me, now that I think about it. But he gets on his YouTube channel. What up, Professor Black Ops? He gets on his YouTube channel. He's a CCNA guy. He live streams doing CCNA labs while he's live streaming. You can watch him type the codes up or the commands up. He explains to you what's going on as he's typing the commands, blah, 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 blah. Like he's like, that's his thing. You know what I'm saying? And I watch his channel, but he can use his channel as a portfolio. So just like Savage Scientist said, in relation to what I was saying earlier about if you don't have the certs, but you got the experience, Well, you're gonna have to prove you have the experience. And one way you can do it is like how Savage Scientists and Network Bruh's doing. Make a YouTube channel demonstrating your experience. And not only will that help you get a job, but you mess around and monetize your channel, you could probably make money off your channel. So that's actually a great idea. Any study tips for Security Plus 601? Yes, study. Listen, there is no right or wrong way to study. Well, I guess there is. The right way to study is to study. The wrong way to study is to not study. But here's the thing. It's all about how you choose to study. Like, I can't give a definitive, do this to study, because that might not work for you. And I give this example because when I was in college, there was this dude named Anthony. We used to call him Ant from DC. Ant was I think he was a math major. So he was taking all these complicated math classes, like all day long he was just doing math. But Ant was also a big marijuana smoker. So we lived in the same dorm on the same floor. I would go by his room because, back in those days, I used to like the sensations of the aromas, right? But I would go into his room. Ant would be just lighting L's, passing them around. It'd be like three other dudes in the room. They just got the circle going, right? He was from DC, so he got that go-go music. Anybody know about go-go music? That was my first introduction to it. I was like, what the heck is this crap? But after a while, I got used to it. I was like, hey, this is not that bad. Anyways, he had that go-go music blasting. So the whole time the go-go music is blasting, the trees are being passed around in a circle. Guess what Ant's doing? He's in the middle of the cipher while he's passing it to the left. After he passes to the left, he's cracking open his book and he's doing his homework and studying. And I used to look at him, I'm like, how do you study like this? And mind you, this dude had all A's and B's. Every time I seen him, he was always doing his homework and studying while he was getting high and listening to go-go music turned up real loud. Me, I can't study like that. I need it to be deafening silence. Like I don't even want to hear a pin drop or it's going to throw me off. So it's kind of hard for me to tell people how to study, being I witnessed the guy who studied in what I would presume to be chaos. So it's just a matter of how do you study. Now, what I will say is you might want to get you some note cards, some flashcards. I use flashcards religiously for memorization techniques and all that crap. I take notes. Like I'll go to the store, I'll buy a little book. If I'm watching a video or I'm reading a book, or if I'm reading a book, I get a highlighter and I highlight the important stuff, and then I go write it down in a notebook, and then I read the highlights. But that's how I study. But it's kind of hard. What I would suggest you do if you want to learn how to study, I would go watch a video. I'm pretty sure there's somebody on YouTube who's made a video to teach you how to study. Like, what's the most effective study practices? That's what I would probably start with that. Because I know somebody left a comment. Somebody had asked me, they was like, they've been working in IT for like 10 years. They know everything about computers, blah, 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 but they failed the A+ 3 times. And they was asking me, what can I do to help them? I was like, well, it sounds like you're suffering from test anxiety. And so what I told him to do, I was like, I think you need to go research test anxiety, start on YouTube, and maybe somebody out there can help you. So I would tell you the same thing. If you want to learn effective study techniques, go watch a YouTube video from somebody that knows about this that can probably help you and point you in the right direction. Because, like I say, I can only study in silence, but I know of people that can study when they're literally getting high listening to go-go music. So if coding and mathematics was part of rap, then we would have more blacks in STEM. You know what that reminds me of, Savage? You remember Lil Jon did that song, that little cartoon video, talk about read a book, God damn it, read a book. Anybody remember that? Go look up Lil Jon Read a Book. So it's a rap, it's a crunk rap song where the lyrics are about, instead of all the traditional stuff, it's about telling kids to go read books, but over some trap, crunk music, whatever the heck they call it. But he's right, though. If that was more popular in black culture, we might see more kids gravitating towards it. But that's why I'm doing my part. Savage Scientist, Professor Black Ops, and every other content creator. Keep it techie. Those of us who make who are content creators who talk about tech, we're trying to do our part to inspire and motivate and provide more visual evidence that yeah, black folks can do this too. And look, if you're white, you're Hispanic, Asian, don't feel left out. You want to create a channel, go out there, man. You want to create more of a presence, but I just got to specifically identify black folks because it is what it is. Man, I hope you succeeded in making that school. Listen, well, so I've been doing a lot of talking with some people. I got an uncle I had to call yesterday. He was putting me on game about because right now what it is, my struggle right now is trying to find a place to set up shop. So I got all the content, all the material to teach. I know how to teach. I got connections to, people in the industry that offer training materials, blah, blah, blah. My thing is having a physical location, but I want one in certain parts of a certain part of the city that's easy for, underprivileged, mostly black children and young adults to get to, i.e. the hood. Not deep, deep off in the hood, but right there next to it. You know what I'm saying? But so finding a location, because rent down here where I live is expensive. So I'm going through those motions, man. This is all a new learning process for me. I don't really got like a lot of people that know about a lot of this stuff, so I got to learn as I go, man, and try to figure it out. But I'm determined to make it happen because I think it's that important. You know what I mean? And then in addition to that, I'm also trying to create like an extension of the technology G business to where I'm actually conducting classes live over the internet because there are people out there who want the teacher student interaction. They can't really just learn because the way my stuff is structured right now, you got to learn on your own, study on your own. You know what I'm saying? Some people can do that, but some can't do it. So I'm also trying to figure that out as well. In addition to keeping making content, so it's a lot, man. And then I got a job and a wife and kids. You know what I mean? Taking your Network Plus in a few days. Any advice for the before taking the exam? Yeah, man. The day before you take the exam, I would just kind of chill on the studying. Like I wouldn't just be in there cramming. I would just let your mind rest, man. Because listen, you'll see a lot of people who go get ready to take an exam. The day before they take the exam, they're in there. Oh God, they're just studying, trying to force everything into their brain. You got to realize something. The day before you take an exam, either you know the stuff or you don't. I learned that a long time ago because I was one of these people trying to do that. I've just accepted the reality. Either I know it or I don't. So what I'm saying is before you take the exam, you should have put in a lot of effort prior to the exam to where you were grasping the information, learning it, understanding it, doing whatever you got to do up until about a week or two before you take the exam. Now you're just going through the motions of trying to memorize everything. But before you go take the test, man, just let your mind rest, B. Let your mind rest. So you could hopefully lower your stress levels and lower your test anxiety, because at that point it's either you know it or you don't. That's what it is. Taking notes and trying to recite the info without looking is very effective. Yeah, it's just basically you're just doing like memorization techniques, but the thing you got to remember is you need to learn the stuff before you try to memorize it. You got people that are just going there. Let's just take port numbers, right? So anybody taking it's on the A plus and the Network Plus test. You got to go out there and learn all these port numbers. Like what's the port number for HTTP? Port 80 or something. Like what's HTTPS? Port, what is it, 143 or something like that? But whatever. If you learn the port numbers and what they mean, and learn the number and learn the associated port with it, or you go out there and you learn how a VLAN functions, what it's supposed to do, or you go out there and learn CIDR notation or slash notation, Or let's just keep it even simpler. You go out there and learn binary, for crying out loud. How to convert decimal to binary to hexadecimal. I got a video on that if you want to learn that. But if you learn it and understand it, it makes memorizing it easier. Instead of you just trying to go out there and memorize some stuff just so you can pass a test. So it's kind of like people who download test banks. They'll download like 100 to 1,000 questions and answers and just try to study the questions and answers so they can go in there and pass the exam. Some do, some pass, some don't, but they never truly understand what the heck it is they're memorizing. I believe memorizing stuff is easier once you understand how stuff works. It'll help you recall it easier. At least that's what I think works for me. Professor says, I'm doing a high-level intro to cybersecurity. I don't know why I cut your comment off, but Professor Black Ops, Cybersecurity for the Peoples. He's another dude. He teaches Security Plus on his channel as well. So he says he does high-level stuff, so y'all can go over there and get schooled up. He's another dude, been in the industry for years. So he knows a lot as well, so make sure y'all go support him. I got his channel pinned in the, what is it, that little tab that says channels up there. His channel is one of the highlighted channels that I have up there. So he's a real thorough brother as well. I'm about to start posting iOS content. Yeah, man, do it. I tell people all the time, start a YouTube channel. I don't care if all you know how to do is clip toenails. Start a YouTube channel clipping toenails. Somebody's gonna watch it. So you know how I know this to be true? Anybody ever heard of what's that, Dr. Pimple? She got a whole channel where all she does is pop pimples on people. And she gets hundreds of thousands of views per video of people watching her pop pimples on people's backs and stuff like that. So if they'll watch that nasty stuff, they'll watch you clip your toenails, and they'll watch your videos on iOS and everything else. So I would do it. I've been wanting to create a YouTube channel about my IT skills too. I would do it, Dave. If you got some skills, man, go out there and make a video. Go out there and start a channel. Somebody's gonna watch it and learn from it. And like I said earlier, you can use it as your portfolio if you ever try to go out there and get a job or do whatever. Yeah, Savage Scientist said it right. The worst thing you can do when it comes to YouTube is procrastinate. Yeah, so a lot of people, what they do, because I've been doing YouTube for like, how many years I've been doing that? I've been doing YouTube since 2016 in some form or fashion. I got quite a few YouTube channels. I've had channels deleted, because I was out there wilding on some of my other channels. This is my professional clean channel, so I try to keep everything super professional over here. But you got a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, I got to get the perfect microphone. I got to get the perfect editing software, the perfect backdrop displays, man, all you need is your doggone phone. You get your doggone phone out, you go out there and say something people want to listen to, your channel will grow, and then you can upgrade later on. So if you want to get into this content creation thing, start now. Worry about, what's the old saying? Build the plane while you're flying it. Just perfect it as you go along. That's what I did. You know what I'm saying? I just threw stuff up there. I do got equipment now. I got a little webcam. I can go out there and get another fancy schmancy one. I got, where's it at? This microphone right here. This thing costs like $300. I bought it like 6 years ago. I got a little mixer I paid for about 6 years ago. I don't even use that crap half the time, to be honest with you. Especially when I go live, I just whip out the phone, keep it pushing. I started learning IT. I just started learning IT. What should I start from? Deshaun said that. Deshaun, so my opinion, my advice is, if you know nothing, I tell this to everybody. So if you know absolutely nothing about IT, like nothing, like all you know how to do is just watch me on YouTube. You can go to my playlist button. I got a course up there called IT Fundamentals, or you can go visit my website, technologyg.com. You can start with IT Fundamentals. If you know a little something about computers, I would start with the A+ certification and then go from there. I'm starting my network class in September, followed by my Security Plus in November. I appreciate what you do. It's not enough black people in IT. Thank you. Yeah, man. I mean, we're out there. We're just not out there. It's, like I say, it's only like based off of what because I had to do a paper on this one. So I discovered there's only like 7% black people in IT. And I never really noticed it before because, like I said, when I go to work, it's not like I'm looking around counting black people. It's not like when I went to work, I was like, how many black people I'm going to see today that work in tech? You know, one, two. It was never nothing like that. I never even thought about it until I had to do this paper. And then I started reflecting. I was like, man, I really was the only black person around. And most people thought I was Spanish. Man. So that was how my experience was. You know, most people, they come up to me, what are you mixed with? Or they'll start speaking Spanish to me. I'd be like, I don't speak Spanish, but so, but like I say, initially I just never even thought about it until I had to do that paper. I was like, wow, where everybody at? Well, we out here, and this YouTube thing is bringing more exposure so that hopefully it can inspire and motivate others, you know what I'm saying, that don't know about it. Because, like I said, I still sometimes struggle to believe that in the year 2021, with all this technology, all this social media, I still struggle to find it hard to believe that there are just a bunch of people who just don't know about IT. And they just don't realize that, yeah, black people can do IT as well. It like blows my mind. Like, how is this possible? Like I was talking with somebody a couple of weeks ago. They was like, yeah, it's a bunch of black people, not black people, it's a bunch of people in general out there that don't even know how to set up email accounts. I was like, what? I'm like, who doesn't know how to set up an email account? I'm like, okay, I can understand if it's like an immigrant coming over here that doesn't speak English or, they're coming from a country with very little resources. But I'm like, who here in America been living here for a hot little minute, don't know about email? Somebody was like, oh, it's a bunch. I was like, oh, really? And they started schooling me up. I was like, Jesus. So maybe because I've been doing this so long, I've become, quote unquote, nose blind, I guess you can say, that, yeah, there are a lot of people out there that just don't know the basic elementary stuff that I thought everybody knew. So, people like me, savage scientists and others, we got to do our part however we feel like we need to do our part. Super Duper says, sup, G. I meant to watch more of your videos before I start IT school, but I'm starting next month. Do you think I'm rushing or I'm going to be all right? I think you'll be all right, man. When you say IT school, I don't know. What do you mean? Like, you going to college, tech school? Like, what does IT school mean? You watching videos? You sign up for something I sell or something somebody else sells? I don't know what that means. But regardless of what it means, if you're learning IT, start now. Don't wait. They are begging for people to join IT. I did a video talking about how the federal government wants to dump like $10 billion into cybersecurity alone. They want people to join IT. So start now. Chances are you'll be hired before you know it. After learning the fundamentals, what steps or courses do you think a software engineer should look into? That's my goal. I have to actually think about that one. So you want to, because see, my specialty is networking and cybersecurity. So software engineering, I don't know, man, maybe savage scientists, don't you do like software engineering or something? I'd have to actually go in there and look up like the certification course for that or path for that and see what exactly that entails. Because that could be anything. Well, I'm not gonna say anything, but that's not really my lane per se. So yeah, Savage Scientist, he says he focuses on software engineering and computer science. So I would subscribe to Savage Scientist. That's his specialty. Because you got to remember, IT, they're like, I always love to compare it to the medical field. You got doctors, you got dentists, you got veterinarians, baby doctors, old people doctors. I don't know. You got a whole bunch of doctors out there. They all specialize in a certain area. They all have a base layer of understanding for the medical profession, but they specialize in a certain lane. So You wouldn't go see a baby doctor or whatever the heck they call them if you got a toothache. You're gonna go see the dentist. You know what I'm saying? So in IT, we got lanes as well. Mine's was networking, cybersecurity, savage scientist. He's software engineering and computer science. Uh, Somebody else might be, I don't know. I'm trying to think of some off the top database. Cause yeah, somebody mentioned Sub Zero. So Sub Zero, he's another YouTuber. He teaches IT as well. He has a school called Lifting the Veil Academy, LTV Academy. He and I went to college together. We didn't know each other, but we went to college at the same time. His focus in IT is database management. Like he is the database dude. I know nothing about databases. I mean, I know what they are, but if you told me to go out there and build a database right now, you probably fire me because I don't that's not my lane. So we all got different lanes. But yeah, Sub Zero, that brother's super smart, man. Super smart, and he teaches IT as well. I actually signed up for his course earlier this year, but I had to stop because the demands at my job, started taking up too much of my time, and I couldn't complete his course. But when I was in it, oh, he was going to town. It was like, oh Jesus, I got to actually pay attention up in here. I'm learning something new. It was on some stuff like that, and plus he helps people get jobs. Like, matter of fact, I'm going to steal his idea whenever I get my actual school started. But one of the things Sub Zero does after you sign up, he teaches you everything you need to know to become a database dude, database developer, whatever it is, and then he sits down and conducts mock interviews with you. Like literally, he'll interview you and then coach you and guide you on how to answer the questions that the interviewer is more than likely going to ask you so you can up your chances of getting hired. So he does this with his students. And he's helped quite a few people go from zero to hero. When I say zero to hero, I'm talking about there's this one guy, he was talking about that. I think this dude was he didn't have a job for like a couple months, just chilling on the couch, smelling like Cheetos, right? But I think he had a job doing some, like a fast food type of job. Scrounged up some money, took Sub Zero's class. About 6, 7 months later, he was a database developer making like $75,000 a year. And Sub got him there from zero to hero, like for real, for real. So, but it's just a matter of we all got our specialties. You take in mycomputercareer.com. Okay, I know so I've heard of mycomputercareer.com. They do a lot of commercials on the radio. I don't know how legit that is. I mean, I'm not saying it's not legit. I just hear them like they play the Ricky Smiley morning show down here in the morning. And that's one of the commercials that runs on Ricky Smiley's morning show is mycomputercareer.com. I would imagine they're legit. Like I said, I don't know anything about them other than the commercial. I never looked into them, but hopefully, whatever you're taking, hopefully there's some type of industry certification at the end of the rainbow. So if they're offering you vouchers to go take an industry certification in whatever lane, because that's another thing. I don't know exactly what you're going to learn at my career. So let me back that up. Let's just say you're going to learn the stuff that I teach, right? At mycomputercareer.com. And then they offer you a voucher after you take their course material to go take the test, then I would say it's legit because, I know about that stuff, right? Because that's essentially what I do on my website. But I don't know what courses you're taking. I don't really know anything about them, but I would just say, go read reviews on them. Check the reviews, see what other people are saying, and if you feel like they're thorough and they got some positive reviews out there, and they're offering the stuff that you want to learn, go forth, make it do what it do. Uh, oh, wait. The ironic thing is, I did not apply for IBM for this role, and I hate SAP. People I like money. After we get certified and we need experience, would you recommend volunteer work in the tech field? Um, what do you mean, like volunteer work, like doing projects? Like what does that mean? Because technically, what I do with this website could be considered volunteer work. Yeah. If you can do volunteer work, if you got the time, and it can add to your resume, your portfolio, get you more experience, then why not? If you can do it. Now, when it comes to projects, I know a lot of people will take on projects like contract jobs as they're in between jobs or they're looking for another job. So they'll go out there on Indeed. IT recruiter will call them and say, "Hey, we got a project you can work on for 3 months." They'll go out there because they're unemployed, so they'll go do the project for 3 months, make their money, but they can add it to their resume. They can add it to their portfolio so that they can take to the next employer or whoever and say, "Yeah, I know how to do this. I did this." You know what I'm saying? I mean, I did that before once. So, I mean, it couldn't hurt. Now, if you got a job and you're looking just to do stuff, you're looking to do projects on the side just because you got downtime, that couldn't hurt you either. You could add that stuff to your resume as well in the event that you want to move to a different position or get a different job at another company that might require a certain set of skill sets. So it couldn't help you. So I would just say if you're going to do projects, make sure it's not a waste of your time. It's something that you can actually add to your overall resume and portfolio so that you can use it to your benefit to hopefully make that paycheck go up. It says the Upwork has a good short term, has good size short term project. Why is it cutting your comments off, Professor Black Ops? It's like the comments get cut off. I don't know why that is. I mean, you're not the only one I've seen that happen to, but I don't know. Do you know what the hourly pay range is for help desk tech? I want to say like if you're just starting out, no experience, you went and got your little A plus, Net plus cert, got your first job, you're probably looking at anywhere between like $15 to $20 an hour, probably more like $15. I think that's like the national average. It's like right around $15. Now, don't be discouraged because $15 an hour. That's pretty much double the national minimum wage. So you're doing good there because you got people out there talking about fight for 15. You can start off with 15 an hour in IT, but like I say, don't get discouraged because normally about 6 months to a year, you could be making 20, 25, $30 an hour. You know what I'm saying? So you worked at a help desk for 17. See, there you go. So about 15, anywhere between 15 to 25 is probably the average starting point for people getting started in IT who go straight to the help desk. But like I say, you can move up rather quick, man. You should just treat the help desk as a stepping stone. I wouldn't be there no longer than 2-3 years max, unless you really like help desk. I'm not saying, because there are some people that really like it. There's an IT dude. What's that guy's channel? Kev, IT Tech, Kev, something like that. Just type Kev, IT Help Desk in YouTube, and this light skin, I don't know if he's light skinned, Hispanic or whatever, but his channel will pop up. All his videos are about help desk. Like, he is like the help desk expert on YouTube that I found so far. He know everything about Active Directory, this, that, Kev Tech or something like that, but I don't know if he does help desk now. I really don't know, but I'm just saying, me personally, I wouldn't want to be at help desk forever. I mean, I started off at the help desk and I was like, I got to get up out of here. I got to get up out of here. So I went from a help desk to a NOC, a network operations center, where I sat in there for 12 hours doing stupid stuff, looking at lights and hitting buttons all day long and sending emails and doing some other stuff. That's how my career got started. I did that in the military, though. It says, I would advise anyone to go to your local community college for cyber certs, especially if you're in VA. In this chat, the colleges have job placement here and the job market. Look, yeah, that's a great point, Marcus. Okay, so let's go back to the whole college thing. If you want to go to college, knowing what I know today, at the ripe old age of 41, and I had to go do this thing all over again, like it was 1998 when I graduated high school, I would have went to community college. Now, like I said, I had a scholarship, so I went to college. I was covered. But if I had to start my life out and I didn't have the money and I really wanted to go to college, I would do my first year or two at community college. It's extremely cheap. Just like old buddy said, Marcus, you can take a lot of I'm not going to, well, some colleges offer IT programs where they'll give you vouchers to go take industry certifications if your lane of IT requires a certification. So that's an option as well. Also, tech college and the military. So there's options out there, or you could just skip all that and go watch my videos and buy my stuff off my website. But it's options all over the place. It's just a matter of what works best for you. What area of IT would have? My things went to sleep. What area of IT would have the what? Would have the most at-home positions? That's kind of hard to say too, because my father, he works in IT. He works from home right now. He's a dude. He does a lot of, what the heck does he do? My dad does a lot of stuff with VMs and cloud stuff. And he works from home. As a matter of fact, I left this house earlier today. He was on a conference call in his boxer shorts. I was like, "What you in here doing?" Working. I'm like, "Okay." So it just depends, man. There's a lot of jobs you can do IT from home. I mean, well, my brother, the one I always brag about, when he first started doing IT, he was doing help desk stuff, but he was doing it from home. So I forgot what company he started working with. His first IT job, they had him working from home. They gave him a computer. They did the whole VPN thing. So he'd be sitting at home in my mom's house playing video games. He'll look to the left and hit a couple buttons to do his job, and then go back to playing video games. So you can do help desk stuff at home. You can do high level stuff like my father does. You can do stuff that I do from home. There's a lot of things, man. It's just a matter of, when you go out there and apply for the job, are they offering you the position to work from home? And I know last year it was booming with the home jobs, but now they want everybody to go out there and get back in them offices. So, you just have to read the descriptions. Oftentimes they'll tell you if you can work from home. You teach at a community college? Yeah, okay. You got out the military in 2012. Yeah, I got out in 2015. November 17th, 2015 was my last day in the U.S. Army after 13 years. If I had stayed in, I'd be at 19 years in the military. About to hit my 20th year next April 29th. April 29th, 2022 would be my 20th year anniversary if I had stayed in. But I got out because I got injured. I got injured in airborne school, jumping out of an airplane back in 2003. And then later on, the injury came back and haunted me, because I was young, in super ridiculously good shape. I used to call myself a manimal or a man beast. I was out there doing all kind of stupid stuff, popping pain pills, just run through the pain. Started getting older, started hurting more. I was like, ooh, I might actually have to go to the doctor. Can't just pop a pain pill for this one. I got to go see the doc and get an x-ray. Next thing I know, they was like, hey, we don't know if you're going to be able to stay in the military. I was like, what you mean? But y'all kicking me out? It was like, nah, not really, but we might have to, get you medically up out of here. So I researched. I was like, shoot, what's the pros and cons of this? Once I found it out, I was like, all right, let's do it. So I get the same benefits as a retiree. I just don't have the official label of being retired. But I get everything else they get. I get free health care. I can go on post anytime I feel like it. When I die, somebody's going to be at my funeral, folding the flag, playing taps, all that crap. You know what I'm saying? If math is not your strong point, which area of IT would you suggest? My area. So the only areas of IT that you really need to be strong in math in is like computer science, something like that, or big data, like cybersecurity, networking, stuff like that. You don't really need to know math. Like the most complicated math you need to know how to do is like addition. Like I just did a video. If you guys go look on my channel, my Network Plus channel, I did a video showing you guys how to do a VLSM subnetting chart, variable subnet math. Variable length subnet mask chart, where basically I had to take a bunch of IPs and break them down into different little IP ranges and all that crap. The highest level of math I did on there was add and subtract some stuff. That was all I did. So if you're not add and subtract, you good money out here in these streets. You ain't got really do a whole lot of calculus and all this other crazy stuff. But if you want to be like a computer scientist, yeah, you're gonna have to get busy out there in the math streets. All right. But shout out to Bayou Girl 504. I used to date this girl from Louisiana when I was in college. She was crazy as all outdoors. But she was fine though. Whew. But anyways, yeah, math. Yeah, like I say, you don't really do. Look, we're not out here. We're not doing math like that in most fields. So, yeah. All right, y'all. I'm about to bounce. So appreciate everybody put some money in here. Go sub to the channel, Tech G, if you haven't, which most of y'all probably are. Like I say, future plans. I'm still going to be making content. I'm currently putting up videos for the Network Plus. After that, I'll be putting up Security Plus. I don't know if I don't think I'm gonna be doing any higher level certs beyond that because I ain't got that kind of time. But the next project after that, I'm hoping to start teaching this stuff. Shout out to Savage Scientist for the $5. Make sure y'all go sub to Savage Scientist. After I'm done, I'm gonna pin his channel in the channel thing up there. I keep forgetting to do it, but I'm gonna do it now. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so so the next project is to try to teach this stuff online because I know some people prefer the teacher-student learning dynamic. But like I told you guys before, if I do it that way, that's going to be a paid option only because, I got to dedicate, I got to actually teach, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, hopefully I can get with my peoples and we can figure out how to bring an IT center of sorts to life here in Orlando where I live at, out in the hood, so I can help the babies out there and the youngins who are lost and confused, help them discover the wonderful world of IT. Show them another option in life, man, or just something else and be exposure, That's just, my little personal project I want to do. Well, I want to do that in conjunction with my family members that work in IT, so we'll see how that goes. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I appreciate everybody sub. Put some money in here, all that stuff. If you follow me on Instagram, appreciate that. If you leave me a message on Instagram and I don't be responding, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's just I don't be really checking Instagram like that. Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh crap, I got a message in there. But I try to answer it. All right, but other than that, y'all be safe out in these streets, and I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.